XOXO, got the girl. Pose. Good morrow and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm not sure how you got here, but certainly I'm glad you came. And if you are new here, well, you're in for a treat. All right, if you enjoy chaotic, frenetic energy and Pride Month, then I suggest you go on ahead and subscribe, because you never know what kind of weird songs my mind will randomly connect to whatever we're talking about. And also make sure that you hit the notification bell so that way you get notified every time my goofy ass makes a video. All right, what we're here with today, I made notes and I forgot them. Thanks, ADHD. Anyways, I will go grab them in a second. But what we're gonna go ahead and do today is I am going to just get ready. I have the Mira Beauty Greed palette, which I am beside myself. I'm so excited to try it. And then I also have the nude version of the Nima Tang Dose of Colors collaboration. That's the word we're looking for. And what I wanted to talk about is the show Younger, because I binged all 6 seasons. It's in its final season now, and I watched all the way up till currently. And I just have thoughts about this show. So we're gonna get to chatting. So, you know, sit down, prepare yourself. If you would like to get some tea, now's the time to do so. I'm gonna grab my notes because I want to make sure I have everything together. If you have questions about the headphones, I made a video about that. So check that one out. It's a lot of crying, I'm so sorry. Moving on. Okay, so first of all, one of the first things I definitely want to talk about is I didn't even know, because like I love me some Hilary Duff, but because I have comfort shows and continuously watch like the same show over and over, it's Criminal Minds, by the way, and Forensic Files, like because of that, I will just literally watch those over and over again. So I never know when a new show has come out unless like I've really been looking for something new. And I cannot believe my goofy ass had no clue that Hilary Duff was on a show. Like, oh my God, because Hilary Duff, I love Hilary Duff, y'all. Like, don't come for me in the comments. Like, I love Hilary Duff. She is magnificent. And let me scooch in, so sorry. And she looks amazing in the show, like amazing. She just looks so good, like so happy. She's glowy, she's pretty, her skin. And y'all, when I looked out, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I had no idea that Hilary Duff had the cake that she got. Girl got a dump truck she's carrying behind her, and I never knew all my life. I was like, girl, where you been hiding that thing? It is immaculate. Like, woo-hoo-hoo. I about lost it. I was just like, I really did kind of like I didn't do well when I discovered Hilary Duff's dump truck. Like, y'all, I can't remember what outfit she's wearing, but she turns around, I was like, excuse me, miss, can I buy you a drink? Ooh, I'm sorry. Anyhow, my Hilary Duff fangirling aside, let me do one thing. Oh, I just upped the light a little bit. I hope it's not blowing me out, because like what I see in the viewfinder versus like how it all comes out in filming, like I feel like the lighting's a little soft, but we'll mock do. All right, so here's the thing. The very first thing that like kicked my ass and I was like, no, absolutely not, no way, was the ridiculous idea that anyone would think that that woman was 26 years old. There's literally no way, absolutely none. Like, I literally don't know how like anyone looked at her and was like, yep, definitely 26. Like, there's no way. There's no way. And there's a few reasons why, right? It's not just because like she is a 40-year-old actress or whatever. It's because she just doesn't, like, I can tell, like, here's the thing, another young person would also be able to tell, so that's why it really bothered me, that it was like, no, there's no way, like, maybe a guy couldn't tell because guys are weird, but, like, there's absolutely no way, like, you can just tell it, like, in the dark club at the beginning when she gets mistaken for 26, okay, you have me there, like, that's a possibility, but honestly, like as soon as they brought her out into the light and started trying to dress her up like she was 26, I was like, no, I would not believe that. Like, first of all, she got them age dimples on her chin, which we all get. Like, I have them too. Like, the older you get like these little dimples in your chin. So I was like, no. And also, she just doesn't look at like she like her face is not giving anything that tells me like she's a 26-year-old woman, like at all. Like there's no part of me that if she said she was 26 to me in my face that I would believe. Like I couldn't pass for 26, okay? Like 32 maybe, but 26 no, not in this lifetime. Not today, baby. So I just thought that that was like such a weird premise to just like have this kind of like not to me this woman who I did not feel looked in any way like she was 26. I just thought it was strange that they tried to like be like, no, but she does look 26. I'm like, sure, Jan. And here's another thing, like, okay, so I'm watching it and they have Diana, who's the, you know, quote unquote, older white lady boomer boss, right? She's in that kind of boomer generation of like, these young girls don't know what the hell they're doing, what awful creatures, you know what I mean? And I don't like that. I just feel like, I mean, she has moments of softness or whatever, but I get really tired of this like constant, like for comedic effect feel that like, the older women are just like ridiculously jealous of the younger women and the younger generation and being assholes. And that may be a cultural thing that I don't know, but I don't like that as a vehicle because I feel like the show would have been, to me, this is obviously my opinion of the show Younger, but I think it would have been more fun if she wasn't such a stick in the mud hag, you know what I mean? If she wasn't like this bitter old bitch who was just like, young people today. Like, I feel like they finally get her to a good point, but to start the show, it's very annoying that she just seems like yet another one of those people who's hateful. And I feel like if the whole point of the show was to like break boundaries or whatever it is that they claim that they're doing, I have no idea. If that was the point, I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Like they had this opportunity to like show her not be bitter. And like there are times when she's helpful and does like nice helpful things, but most of the time she's just weird, bitter, and like awkward when it comes to like liking her boss. I can't remember that man's name. It'll come to me later, but like the boss man who's supposed to be handsome. Ugh. Anyways, we'll talk about that in a minute. But like he's supposed to be like all handsome and all of this shit, and everybody's supposed to kind of want him, and she's so awkward about it too. I'm just like, okay, I get that she's older, right? I'm older, but like, and I already know I'm not a good flirt. Like I already know that, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be like awkwardly touching someone that, you know, like it's just weird to me. She's just in these streets just like, I don't know how to be a person. And I'm like, we know Diana. I think that's her name, Diana. And it's just like, we know. It obviously looks like you don't know how to be a person. Like I think his name is Charles. I think that's the man's name. It's very obvious that like they're both divorced and everything, but I just don't know why she can't be portrayed as like someone who has more sensuality, I guess, but she gets there where they make her more sensual, but to me I feel like it's just like a little bit too late, and I just didn't live for that at all. I was like, y'all really could have like made this better. Like y'all could have really had like, to me, I just feel like you had this opportunity to have an older woman be in this and like be really like telling these young women like, hey, in this business, the men are going to stomp all over you. And like, if you don't want that to happen, you need to do these things. You know what I mean? Like if she was more helpful and less bitchy. And as usual, like we're definitely going to hit this again because I can't stop talking about it. But Hilary Duff is perfect. Oh my God. Hilary Duff gives me just like, y'all, like why? Like, why? Hilary Duff is one of those, I guess Hilary Duff is my Chris Evans, you know what I mean? Like, everybody else, like, really likes Chris Evans. Hilary Duff is my Chris Evans. That's a statement I never thought I'd be making. Like, well, Hilary Duff is my Chris Evans, so choke. And then how they deal with sexuality in this show is not great because they have, let me look and see if I have her name right, Lauren. Lauren is a young Jewish woman And at the start of the show, she's very like adventurous sexually, which, you know, I'm for, and seems to be leaning more on the side of, you know, I'm going to say she's more pan than anything else, right? She's pan, she just enjoys her sexuality. But I think what bothered me is like all of that work to like make her just like kind of this weird, interesting sex character. All that work to do that and to like have her end up with a boring ass man, like not even an interesting man. That's what really bothered me, is they didn't even pair her with an interesting man. She just ended up with this like really boring ass man. And I was like, I'm sorry, how did y'all, like how y'all did that to her? Like she was so fun and funny and quirky and like whatever, but like they then still ended up somehow pairing her with a man, which I thought did the character disservice. Like I would have been more interested if they started pairing her with non-binary folk and all of that, because she does end up having an affair with an older lady whose name I can't remember, but she is played by Debbie Mazar, who is phenomenal in this, phenomenal. And in a lot of ways, I feel like, because at first I didn't really love the portrayal of like, you know, the older, wiser lesbian who's like taking the younger folk underneath her wing and all of that. But she's kind of like, she's this really badass bitch. And at first they really have her being kind of like this side character, which I did not love that either. I was like, y'all got to do more with her than that. You cannot have the glorious Debbie Mazar on here and then just be like, having her just be like, what is that woman's, what is her name? Liza. Liza is the name of that character. You would think I would know that. But she's just not that, like, honestly, Liza's character isn't that interesting to me. I know I'm going to catch heat for that, but Liza's character isn't very interesting to me. I'm like, whatever, like, come or go. Because, like, everything she does is really shitty. She is, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that now. Liza is one of the most toxic characters I've ever seen written in a really long time. And I watched Gossip Girl, y'all. Like, Liza is so fucking like, it's unreal how toxic Liza is. Like, from beginning to end, she's just always lying to people about stuff. And like, I get it, like the whole point was talking about like ageism and how hard it is for older women to like re-enter the job force when they need to, and you know, that's the whole reason she's doing all this shit is because of ageism, which I got. But like, I felt like there was a way she could have done that that wasn't inherently and disgustingly toxic, and I just feel like they didn't use any of that. It's like she, like when she ends up hooking up with the dude, sorry, spoilers if you haven't watched it, but she ends up hooking up with a guy and basically having a relationship with a young man who is 26. And here's what kills me is I'm like, okay. So also, like when they got naked, there was like no way he could, okay, I'm not going to say that because it's going to make me look like I'm some kind of like mean ass old bitch who's like, when you're old, your body's disgusting. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying though here is I just feel like I know when I am, you know, full, what is it? Inflagrante delicto? Is that it? Anyway, that's what we're going to say because I watch Clue and I like that phrase.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I have to, is there a little girl's room in the hall?
Oui, oui, madame.
No, I just want to powder my nose.
I feel like I can tell the difference in how my full body naked looks from like now from how it looked when I was like 26. There's a lot more stretch marks. Even though we haven't had any kids, it's just like stretch marks are a part of your body. Also, you know, if you have them, you're fine. You're beautiful. You're glorious. I'm not going to say the rest because I'll get demonetized. So to me, it was just like weird. Like he just didn't notice anything different about her body. Like, okay. And then the other thing too that bothered me about that was like when they made like they had Liza like shave off her carpet. Take it to a hardwood floor, and there was something about that really bothered me because if it's supposed to be so empowering, I feel like as women in general, we just kind of started not shaming women for like what they wanted to do with their down with their nether regions. Like, I feel like we had started on that path by the time the show actually started. So I feel like we had kind of moved past this whole need to be like bald eagles. Just, that's my thought. Am I wrong? Did I do it wrong? You know what? I feel like I'm going to grab my Midas cake liners right quick. Ooh, I fucked that one up, but it was so perfect and I kind of fucked it up, but you know what? I don't care. We're gonna just improvise then. Like, if I fuck it up, then I will fix it with improvisations. Improvisations, okay. But yeah, like, Liza is a liar, liar, pants on fire. And I just found it weird, like, why would you... Okay, I'm gonna let it go, because, like, if I keep talking about Liza, we'll not get to any of the other points, because, like, when I tell y'all I really don't like Liza, I mean that with my entire heart. Like, I'm just like, why? Why is she allowed? I cannot make things even on both sides, so we're just gonna, like, pretend it looks somewhat okay on this side. Or we're just gonna, like, pop in and see if I can make it look, oh no, this side looks really good. This is gonna be the side we take pictures on. All right. So the next point is that really started to grate on my last fucking nerve was, like, how does Eliza have a whole college age daughter, right? But has, like, no knowledge of any young slang, like, doesn't know how Instagram works, like, doesn't know. And I say this not making fun of anybody who doesn't. I say this because most parents, especially moms who have children, like, really, like, if I'm gonna be honest, truly don't just, like, let their kids just be running these streets without, like, having any knowledge of what it is that they're into. Do you know what I mean? Like, want to know what things mean in case their kids are doing, like, secret drugs. You know how parents are, they're fucking weird. So, like, why wouldn't her mom know how to use any social media? Like, she's just literally sitting there just like, Instagram, what's that? Like, I just don't understand. Like, that bothered me so much because I was like, y'all really made a mom who just, like, doesn't understand any slang, doesn't ever ask, like, because I'm sure her daughter says stuff to her, like I did. Okay, growing up, I would say something like I'd be like, oh, for shizzle, this is how old I am, right? And my mom would be like, Audra, what's for shizzle mean? And then I would tell her, you know what I mean? And, like, honestly tell her, because I have a good relationship with my mom and I don't hate her. I mean, you know, some people would probably tell their parents something really fucked up if they don't have a good relationship with them and don't like them, you know. Different strokes, different folks. But I just found it so interesting that, like, at no point, like, she just see everything that everybody says. She's just like, ugh. And I get that it's supposed to be, like, comedy or whatever. But to me, like, and maybe it's because the way that I watch television shows and movies is with, you know, like, I will try to, you know, do the thing where I disappear into the story and it's fun. But that made it really difficult for me to do that. Just simply for the fact that I was like, how in the world, like, how, Sway, like, has a college-age daughter and doesn't know any terminology, like, none of it. Like, she could just very easily end up, like, taking a drug she didn't know she'd agreed to take. You know what I mean? Like, if she didn't know. So I didn't love that whole thing, and I thought it was stupid and weird. Like, she's got a college-age daughter but has, like, zero knowledge of, like, any slang. She's just sitting there in moron central, like, I don't even know, what is this? Oh, I'm so old. Like, I hated that. And be right back. And once again, I've said this before, and I will continue to say it because I really hate this depiction. Yes, I'm still using that Kylie concealer because I gotta figure out if I like it or not, and I can't tell if I don't put it on, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't wear it again, like, I wore it for a video or whatever, and it looked nice, but, like, I can't remember, because if y'all don't know, for new makeup nonsense, I got a little too hammered, and it was awkward. So the next one, I think I'm just gonna do sober. Anywho, onto the show. I really hate that we still have not progressed in our depictions of ASD individuals, because once again, they have a young man who comes in and he like buys the publishing house. I know nothing about writing a book and publishing a book. I'm going to assume that this is as true as it can be. I have no clue. I have no idea. But he shows up, and I didn't bother remembering his name, because as soon as they made him like stereotypical autistic person who is, unnecessarily rude and male. He is male. He is rude. He's chauvinistic. And in fact, at one point says something like extremely like rude and fucked up. And then as the elevator door is closing, like someone says something to him like, you're being rude or something like that. And he just goes, autism. And I'm like, y'all, seriously, can we please get more than just like weird white males who are like, that's it? Like, that's our entire portrayal. Okay, thanks. The rest of us don't exist, I guess. And a lot of us, honestly, for like, especially people of color, have masked a long period of our lives because we didn't even know we could get help. And even if we tried, they weren't going to help us. So the point is, I just hated that was there at all. And I was like, y'all really could have left that whole thing out. Like, he still could have been a dick, but like they made him, the typical like straight white male autistic who is just like brilliant, just like a genius, has, he's like a billionaire, like boy genius kind of guy who is kind of childish in a lot of ways, but also who would care because he's rude and like, and like that's the thing is like he's aware that he's autistic. So like this is why that particular depiction really bothers me, because like he is aware of this and then still does nothing to like be in a space where he owns a company and not be deliberately shitty. Like I think a lot of us know like and learn like, okay, we've got to figure out how to best operate in neurotypical spaces and still be able to be myself. And you know what I mean? Like I still want to be myself, but I also don't want it to be stressful or taxing, and just kind of figuring that out. So I just didn't like that. I'm tired of that depiction. And once again, are we not tired of all white New York? Are we not tired? Are you not tired? I'm tired. I'm tired of this all white New York. Like every time a show depicts New York, it's like overwhelmingly white. And I'm so confused because I'm just like, y'all do know that like, it's not all white, right? Like, do y'all know? Y'all ever been to New York? We're just curious, like the girls are waiting. I guess I find it so tiresome because it's just like, how is a city that damn diverse, right? It's like, how is an entire, like New York City, how is a city that diverse? Just like, there's only white people. And for the most part, the only time that you get additional persons of color on the show are extras or like random story arcs that for one of the main characters. Like you just don't get a very good, accurate depiction of like anybody being there. Like even their publishing house is like overwhelmingly white. It's just like all white people. Everybody in the office, white. And on occasion, they'll have somebody in the background who's like some form of brown. We don't know who they are and nobody asks, and they don't really have any importance to the story at all. And so I'm just like, I just need these shows like to please, for the love of all that is good and holy, please stop depicting New York, specifically New York City, really anywhere, but like, let's just get off of this idea that like New York City is like all white, because that is ridiculous, and I'm tired. Like, is anybody else tired? It's every time I turn around, there's another New York show, and it's like, and everyone was white, and I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, everyone is white. I'm like, oh, again? And they're like, mm-hmm. I'm like, we're gonna have a diverse cast. Older woman, Debbie Mazar, and a Jewish girl. Done. Diversity complete. See how like this eye, like see how pretty and defined that is? And like this is just like hot garbage. I don't know how to fix that. But it is what it is. Like I was like, oh, I'm so good. Oh, it went bad. I'm bad at my job. But it's not like super, like it's noticeable. But we're gonna move on. And it's like they did that thing again with like Like I was talking about the people of color, they did the same thing with gay characters for the most part. They just like show up. There's that actor who is literally the same character in every movie. He's just like the sassy white male who's like, like, you know, he has like the attitude, if you wanted to do that, then blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, y'all, we have got, like, can we please progress past this stereotype? Like it's reached that peak point where I'm like, enough is enough. Is enough. It is enough. Like I've had enough of this depiction. I want it to end. Please stop. It's hurting my feelings and others' feelings, to be honest. Like it's hurting everyone's feelings because it's just very obvious that it's like it feels like they know like there's just kind of one level of gay and one level of they, and it's always rude and sassy. Like they just never have like a gay or a they who's just like, hey, how you doing? Like, what's going on? Are you having a good day? Great, me too. So I want shows to get to release themselves from the shackles of that weirdness, because y'all, for real though, y'all need to stop it. We're tired. We're all tired of that same tired ass depiction of what queerness looks like. And also, please stop making queerness seem so damn queer. Like it just feels like a lot of the things that they make into queer are still weird, like they're othering. And I'm not saying that those things don't exist, but I'm saying like they continue to other us. Like if there's a weird club or anything really strange happening, it's happening in our community. And I kind of am over like that depiction being used regularly. Like I really need them to break off, like stop doing that, and like kind of like please show us as people who live lives. Thank you. We'd appreciate it greatly if you acted like we were human beings. Okay, I'm sorry. And I just want to tell y'all, like, the other thing I really hate about this show is, first of all, Charles. I hate everything about Charles. Charles is not hot. He's gross.
No!
Like, he is this gross, boring old man. Like, there's nothing, like, I feel like I was the only one not cheering on the romance between Liza and Charles. I was like, no, he's not hot. There's also another reason that I hate that romance. I'm just going to go on, let this side be rude and hateful and disrespectful. We're just gonna move on. But the other reason I hate that romance is this, okay? This is like Liza is the perfect old man's dream, right? Because like one of the reasons that a lot of older men who have dated younger women cite that they don't like dating younger women is because like, and they're like, one, they're in different places, but two, they like don't have anything in common with her. Like they find that she's frivolous, annoying, they don't get most of the references. Like, yes, does she make them feel young? Mm-hmm. But eventually she makes them feel old because she is young. So like she is young, so eventually they do have to, feel old, and they don't like that. So this romance is disgusting for multiple reasons. The first of which is that Liza is the perfect old man's dreams, which I said that before, but I need to say it again because think about this. She's quote unquote 26. She has all like the youth factors of being young. You know, she's 26 years old. She is young and beautiful. But guess what, y'all? She's actually old, so she likes things that old people like, you know, like Berlin. Take my breath away. I think, is that Berlin? I feel like that is it. Anyways, because they end up in the show at some point. So like she ends up, you know, she likes shit like that, and so it's like he can fall for her because she's young with an old spirit, but no, she's old. She is old. She's old like you, old man, and that's why you're falling for her. But like that whole romance and arc and story, like, grossed me out. Because the thing is, the second she gets with Charles, her youth just like disappears. Like if anybody watched this, please tell me. Her youth just disappears. She becomes like this really old fuddy-duddy. She went from like being young and having fun and like wearing the like cute outfits. Like, still, granted, I still don't think that she was like young. You know what I mean? I still wasn't like sold on, oh, she's young. But very much I felt like she went from like wearing these like fun, youthful outfits to like all of a sudden like being a Becky, like a beige Becky, and it was like sad. Like in all seriousness, she goes from like being fun and carefree and wearing like cute outfits to just like being an old fuddy-duddy mom again. And like she just starts looking more and more her age anyway. But like, and this is before the big age reveal. But it's like she gets with Charles and like just becomes boring. Whereas when she was with Josh, I think his name is Josh, like she was fun and interesting. She tried new things. Like I feel like that's the thing that really bothered me is like, yes, there's an age gap, blah, blah, blah. But what bothered me is like with Josh, she was like fun and she was trying new things and she was interesting. And then it's like she gets with old man Charles, like, ugh. And then it just becomes this like gross old relationship. Yes, I'm old and I get that that's like weird. But the reason I don't like it is because you literally went from watching her have this like fun, exciting, like good relationship where he still, even after it's revealed, he still loves her, he still wants to settle down with her, he still wants to have a life with her, and she's making decisions for him. That's another reason why she's fucking toxic. Like she doesn't want to be with him because of things like, well, one day, like this very thing that women get mad about, she's putting on to him. He was like, yeah, listen, I love you. Like, I'll just be with you. It's fine. And she's like, well, one day you might want kids and then you'll resent me. Like, bitch, let him decide. Like, that's his choice. You don't get to decide. And you don't get to destroy the relationship by making out with gross old man Charles. Ugh, that man grosses me out. Like, everything about him is disgusting. And so I hated that. Like she like devolves into 40-year-old boringness as soon as she gets with the old man. And I feel like she was less interesting. And I feel like if they were going to do that, then she should have been showing him how to have more fun. Do you know what I mean? Like if they were going to do that, they should have started trying to show him, like her being like, here's how you have a good time, even though you're old, you know? Like, let me take you skateboarding. You know what I mean? There's like cool shit where she would be able to teach him the fundamentals of fun and having a good time, which, you know, she didn't do. So I just hated that. They very much became like settled into old people routines and doing old people shit. And I hated it. And like, he ends up giving up everything for her at one point, which she didn't ask him to do. They really should have just broken up. Moving on. I hate it. And it's weird because at first you sort of root for her to be with Charles, because at first like they didn't flesh out Josh's character. Is his name Josh? Yeah. I have to keep double checking. That's a weird accent. I don't know where it came from. Anyway, it kind of at first you have a little bit of like, yeah, she should go with him. But again, I told you, I started getting creeped out by it when I just realized that like she's 26, but she's an old soul, so like he can be an old creep, and then like, surprise, she's really as young as you, like, you know, like she's the same age, like y'all are the same age. Like, is he now disappointed? Like, ugh, gross. I thought I was getting with somebody young, and now you're just an old lady. Why am I like this? Don't look at me. I'm like, don't look at me while I'm being me. Today is a good day for my Moira blush. I'm really excited about this because I'm like, And also like I hate how much like Josh is truly like he's a doormat for Liza quite a bit, but like she just doesn't reciprocate the way that she should. Like he falls all over himself to make her happy and to be like he's vulnerable and he's open and he's just like, and he just tells her like my goal, like I want to be with you, I love you. And like what bothers me about this again is like because she was like making decisions for him, like he does end up having a child with some woman that he like that they threw into the mix for 3 seconds so that Josh could have a different story. But like when I tell you that I still was like, I'm still a Josh and Liza person, even though she's a horrible human being. Like, she's horrible, and I'm like, I hope they end up together at the end of the show. I don't want her to end up with Charles. Charles gets on my damn nerves. If you hadn't noticed already, I hate old man Charles. But, like, I'm in these streets, like, don't make that the outcome. No, because, like, I guess now it's like, Josh has the child, she can help raise the child, and they can be in a couple together, and it shouldn't have to... You know what I'm saying? Do I have more here or here? I can never tell if my blush is on evenly. And honestly, at this point in the game, I don't care. Okay. Y'all, I was looking at my notes, and what I wrote for Charles, in case you didn't know already how much I dislike him, look at this note. Charles is not attractive, and I hate his giant mouth.
Better. I am blind.
Oh my gosh. Audra, wow. That wasn't nice. Like, I'm just like, I hate his giant mouth. He does have like, y'all, he has an overly large mouth. Like, it's pretty intense. Like, you gonna get sucked up. He's like a trout, you know what I mean? He's like, like, I just feel like kissing him would be, you would get sucked into another universe. That's not nice, Audra. Also, it's true. Who cares? Anyway, the other thing I want to talk about the show is like, y'all, the music on the show is like always just like slightly off, which I think is so strange. Here's what I mean by slightly off. Okay. So, like, they have a song come on that sounds like Sexy Back, but like it's not Sexy Back. It's like slightly off. You know, like Under Pressure and Ice Ice Baby, where Vanilla Ice is like
ding diggy ding ding, ding 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 diggy ding ding, ding ding ding. That's the way theirs goes. Ours goes ding 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 diggy ding ding, ding 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 diggy ding ding. That little bitty change, it's not the same.
And we're all just looking like it's like that. It's really weird. I'm like, could y'all not license the songs? Like, you could have just used like other music, but it just felt like they were using this, and it was just very strange to me. I was like, y'all, this is weird. Like, is it just me that finds this strange? Did anybody else see it and like think the same things, or is that just a me thing? Who cares? If it's just a me thing, it's just a me thing, I guess. Like, I can live my life that way. I'm fine. And then y'all, and like, I feel like it's in season 7, Janine Garofalo shows up, and listen, I'm gonna out myself here. I used to have, that kind of makes me laugh. I used to have the biggest crush on Janine Garofalo. The whole reason I like the movie The Truth About Cats and Dogs has nothing to do with Uma Thurman or Ben Chaplin, although I used to have a crush on Ben Chaplin as well. Anyway, we can see that my tastes run to the interesting. I like interesting looking people. That's my MO. And just to see her, like, because I hadn't seen her in so long, I was like, it's Janine! So I was like really excited by that. I was like, Janine is here! So that was fun. That was a fun throwback. Woke me up. I was like, yes, bitch. My everything. Also, I know that I talked about Hillary Duff's cake, but one cake I didn't get to talk to you about, Debbie Mazar. Debbie Mazar got a caboose. Oof. I don't want to alarm you, but I am about to look so stunning, and you're welcome. I'm going and looking at my notes just to make sure I didn't miss anything. I feel like the last note is please don't get mad at me again. I said this. My last note on this whole thing was, ironic that Dana's character's last name is Trout, yet Charles's mouth is the trout. All right, I feel like we left and we came back. This is the final look. Let me know, have you watched Younger? What are your thoughts on Younger? What other shows should I talk about that y'all want me to binge while I have the opportunity to do so whilst I am doing my job hunt? But before we leave, obviously, I have to do the weird slow-mo bullshit. So let's come in and do that. Let's make it weird. All right, we made it weird. And that is it. That is the video. What pet peeves do you have about Younger? What are your favorite things about Younger? Mostly I want to know the pet peeves, but also tell me your favorite things. And that's it. I feel like I look good. I feel so cute. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go take some pictures. I'm gonna get sassy on the gram. And until next time, huge shout out to my patrons and spooky bays, yeah. All right, y'all, you know the drill. It costs $0 to be kind. It's so good for your soul, because if you don't take care of yours, I am going to transport you into the show Younger. Well, you will have to be Charles, whom I don't like. Until next time, XOXO, Gothic girl. Wait, is it only $5.39? That's a hot food for summer. Yeah. Oh my God, I don't have to be live until 7. My mirror's in front of my face. Moving on. I thought I had like 20 minutes and I have more time. That makes me feel better. Oh my gosh, I feel so smart now. Din 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 din. Din din din. Baby, because I am smart. All day, every day. Because Audra's smart. Da, 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 doodaloo. Doodaloo. Mm-hmm. Yes. Get it. Uh-huh.